young boys do not care about anything other than making videos on social media. They all aspire to be YouTubers, streamers. They all aspire to be famous because they don't have to aspire to build buildings.
You're literally doing the same thing, Jane, don't we? You're making content about people who make content and about how they should stop making content and build buildings. We're not talking about building. How many buildings do you build? Is all like, not about the building. Like, you go not build an AP building. Like, dude, let people do what they want to do.
Young boys that I know, one just finished matric and already is on social media saying, yeah, if she does this, she's for the streets. That's what he wants to do.
I mean, is she not for the street though? My dog was spitting though. My dog was spitting. That guy.
Yo, what's up? What do you do? It's your boy Philly, and we are back with another banger, yo. Today we got us a little something. Sorry if this chair makes noise during this video, but yeah, today we got us a little something different. It's not really different based on the previous videos that I've done before. I've done like 2 videos covering a couple of controversial topics, and I'm going to be engaging more into these controversial topics, right? Over the past week or so, there has been a video circulating on the internet, and it's about a girl. Well, I won't say girl, I'll say a young lady, right? She goes by the name of Cece, owns a YouTube channel, very, very engaging content. If you want, I'm gonna leave a description down in the description below to the channel. You guys can check that out.
A few weeks ago, a conversation on social media was sparked about the boy child being left behind, and I don't really know where that conversation started, but I was very interested in it, and I think there's a lot of people that gave interesting perspectives. Basically, the conversation was about how the boy child is not doing well in the education system. They're not doing well in class, they are not graduating, they are not going to school, they are not getting the jobs. The girlies, no matter what age group they're in, are thriving in both education and the working industry. As usual, I like to go back to the very beginning, or at least go back to the past, just so that I can have an understanding of what was happening at that time and how that could have contributed to where we are today. From the very beginning, ever since humanity and civilization started, patriarchy was always leading. Patriarchy was the foundation of our society. What is patriarchy? Patriarchy is male dominance. Patriarchy is men leading society. Men were leading families, communities, countries, and they were building civilization. Society was constantly pouring onto young boys so that they can build civilization, so that they can go out, fight for the country, lead the world, lead families. So that's why they were getting the education, they were getting the respect, they were getting the affirmation, they were getting the societal attention. And what were the girls doing? They were at home helping out, cooking, cleaning, waiting for a man to come and marry them one day so that they can go and start a family. Is that a lot of the times when I listen to these older men speak, whether he's speaking at a conference or he's a pastor, they always have a military background, because at that time every 18-year-old boy was shipped into the military. You had to go and fight for your country. It was a necessity. No boy child had a choice. Every family understood that it was expected of them. When it comes to the military, we have an idea of how it was like there, because they tell us all the time that it was very rough. It was a rough environment. Only the toughest survived, and when you come out, you don't come out the same. You don't come out weak. You are very strong mentally, emotionally. There was no comfort there. It was just violence, harsh environments, and tough love. No time to nurse emotions and affirmations. You had to be tough. You had to be strong. Whether you're going to end up being a doctor or a lawyer or a musician, every man had to go down the same path. Every man had to go to the military first for those 2 years, serve their duty to their country.
So, in the beginning of the video, she makes a reference to the boy child in South Africa, why the boy child is struggling. When she's referring to the boy child movement, she is referring to the boy child advocacy movement, right? Which is the movement to ensure that a boy child has a holistic development in the beginning stages of their childhood, right? Whether it is emotional well-being, physical well-being, things of that nature, essentially. Her argument is that because there were men who were brought up in the military as they got out of high school or at a young age, because they went through those hardships and those turmoils, they produced for strong men. They produced reliable men who will fight for their country. I understand that sentiment that she has, but she kind of goes against herself by referring to the boy child advocacy, and a military upbringing, right? Boy child accuracy, as I said before, is catered for young men to have a holistic development, right? Emotional well-being. The military, unfortunately, is not a place for emotional well-being, right? She refers to our grandfathers, all these old men, our fathers, and all of that, who grew up in the military and had that development, had that be a part of their development, right? But what do we see with that? They do not know how to express their emotions. They keep it all to themselves. They bottle all of those emotions up, right? Which produces for things such as your toxic masculinity, right? As the feminists, like to say, it was a breeding ground for mental health issues, depression, right? Which would lead into things such as your suicide, right? But that's just looking at one point of it. But I make that point to sort of show that you are looking for the holistic development of the boy child, yet you are using men who went to the military as the base of your arguments for why you believe that the men of today are weak and lazy, as you say later on in your video, right? So yeah, I just wanted to raise that point. But besides that, I understand what you were going for. I understand what she was going for.
With contributing factors like feminism, patriarchy is holding on by a thread. It's almost non-existent. So if we're no longer living in patriarchy and we're now living in a matriarchy, it means that young boys are no longer prioritized. It means that the young girl now is the one that is prioritized. The young girl is the one that is invested in. The young girl is the one that is affirmed and respected. So the same way young girls and women were sort of pushed to the side back in the day when patriarchy was thriving, it's the same way now young boys are pushed to the side because matriarchy is thriving now.
So now in her next point, she brings up how patriarchy is falling, how matriarchy is taking over, especially from an educational standpoint, how because women are the ones who were told from a young age, you can do this, you can go ahead, whereas men have been pushed to the side. From my side, and according to the stats that I have researched, there is no evidence that little girls all the way from crèche all the way up to matric received an unfair advantage over their boy counterparts or their boy classmates. There is no evidence of that. Unless there is, please somebody show me in the comment section. But from crèche, everyone was given a fair opportunity, right? What you do with that opportunity is up to you. Obviously, this all depends on where you go to school, whether it's Model C or whatever, whether it's private or public. But currently in South Africa, there is no stats that can prove that point. Unfortunately, I have to dispel it.
So if you want to thrive in the society, then you must align with feminine values. You must align with this new feminine way of living. With matriarchy, I don't really believe that the boy child was made to read books, study, pass, sit in an office in front of a computer and die. Society has changed in such a way that it doesn't need the boy child to be tough. It doesn't need the boy child to go through tough, rough, harsh environments to build them up. Because what are you doing it for? There's no longer war. You no longer have to build buildings. A lot of buildings are built now. You no longer have to go into the field and plant food. You no longer have to slaughter cows. You just go to the shop and you buy it. You no longer have to be in the wilderness chasing wild animals, protecting sheep and goats. You no longer have to build anything with your own hands. You no longer have to be in environments with other boys and fight and prove that you're strong and be territorial and try to dominate. You no longer have to be in those spaces, and that's why they're weak. I saw a quote a while ago, and I'm just going to paraphrase, but it was basically saying that tough times create strong men and weak men create tough times. You can't expect men to be competing with women. You can't expect men to be competing with women for degrees and jobs at an office where women have long nails and they are pressing computers in a fancy office. You can't expect that.
She believes that men weren't made or built to sit in an office, to read books, to do all of these things. She says that we no longer live in a society where men have to go out there and hunt for their food, go out there and you know, build roads and bridges and all of those things. All of those things are still being done, right? Society has developed to a space where we don't need to do that. We don't need to do that, right? The same way you don't need to stay in the kitchen and be in a woman's place. Society has developed from that stage. And you saying, right, that you don't believe that men were built to read books or have these office jobs. Well, men were the first individuals to have those jobs. I can't I can't make the point further than that. Women weren't in the office back in those days. Women weren't scholars going to university or doing all of those things.
And a lot of the people who were making commentary on this topic were saying that young boys are not trying to adapt. Why are they not adapting? Times have changed. This is what we're doing now. They need to adapt. They can't, because this is not what helps them grow. Whatever is working for young women to grow and to be better and to thrive in society is not the same thing that works for young boys. So it's not necessarily that they don't want to. It's just that they're not wired to operate in that way. The times are different, but young boys are not different. The times are different, but young girls are not different. That's why we have young girls that are working in corporate offices, earning money, more money than men could ever imagine, but they're unhappy.
In Cece's eyes, women are currently dominating the workspace. She says that men and women were never meant to compete. And let us look at the workforce currently, right? And I'm talking as of the latest stats. You can look this up on stats. I say currently the rate of unemployment is higher in women than it is with men. So where are women dominating? Perhaps they might be dominating in terms of degrees, right? Because women get more degrees as opposed to males. As I said again, you can look at stats and say for all of these statistics, right? It's a simple Google search. I believe that men are adapting pretty well considering the circumstances you put out. Men are still earning over 20% all the way up to 40% more than your average woman, right? You will find more men in managerial or senior positions as opposed to finding women in managerial or senior positions. So from where I'm standing with these stats and the facts, men are doing quite well for themselves.
It's even worse now that we're living in a digital age, so men do not even have to be anything, a fraction of what manhood has to be. Now you just need to learn how to talk. You need to learn how to make a video and discuss whatever you want to discuss. These young boys do not care about anything other than making videos on social media. They all aspire to be YouTubers, streamers. They all aspire to be famous because they don't have to aspire to build buildings, lead the world. Because the world has taught them that it's not necessary anymore. You don't have to care about the justice system. You don't have to care about water, food, electricity. You can just go and buy it. You don't have to care about contributing to real life society, what makes the world what it is. You don't have to care about real life problems. All you need to do is think about what you want to say on social media. All you need to think about is fame and how many followers you have and how you can get more followers and have a fancy life.
What are you doing? Okay, speaking as a young man who is, making videos not as consistently as he'd like, but speaking as a young man making videos, listen, I enjoy making videos. It allows me to express myself artistically or whatever. I do it as a hobby, right? And most people may want to do it as a career, right? And which is not a bad thing, shoot for your dreams. But why is it okay for you to do it and, as you say, come on a platform, speak your mind on whatever you want, and you can be good with it, but you want to chastise and berate young men who do it or aspire to do it? Unfortunately, right, and this is gonna sound bad, but this is the result of living in a bubble and consuming nothing but the internet, because that's all you're seeing is people aspire to be YouTubers or streamers, right? There's a whole world out there. There's a whole congregation of men building roads. I have a friend in construction right now. I don't want to say too much. I don't want to dox him. But he's in construction, earning high amounts of money doing that. I have friends doing architecture. I have friends, as I said, in medicine. Just go out and explore the world. Interact with these people, right? They're people. Trust me. There's men doing that. There's men doing that. There's kids who aspire to do such things. So.
Because they want the easy life. They want everything to be easy. They don't want tough things anymore. They don't care about that because society doesn't even care. They don't want anything that's going to challenge them physically, mentally, emotionally. They don't care about that. The young girls that I know, they're going to school. They're checking for jobs. They want to further their studies. They want to have their own things. The young boys that I know, one just finished matric and already is on social media saying, yeah, if she does this, she's for the streets. That's what he wants to do with his life. He wants to talk about what women are doing and who's for the streets, and she's not loyal.
Right? So the argument that you're making, I get it, I understand to a certain extent, but I don't. When you look at it as well, females are dominating the influencer space currently in terms of your Instagram, in terms of your YouTube, right? Males might be the ones that you're seeing on the forefront, right? But in a room full of individuals, you'll find one male who's an influencer hosting 6 women who are influencers in their own right. So I believe that that is something worth looking at as well.
Young girls are affirmed. They are told that get a job, get an education, make something out of your life. Young girls are given identities that you are a strong woman, you are great, you are beautiful. Young men don't even have an identity. They don't have affirmations. So they're glued onto their phones because they're trying to fill a void. They're trying to find some form of purpose, some form of identity. Society can't make space for men and women at the same time. We always have to take turns. Back in the day it was men, now it's our turn, and then soon it will be men again. Why can't we be affirmed together? Why can't they make space for us together? Because we are dangerous together. We'd rather be separated one at a time. When we're uplifting these ones, let's make sure that they're fighting. Let's make sure that there's gender wars. Because once both men and women are uplifted, then people that run this world will never succeed in anything that they do. Because everyone is focused on what is going on. Why are certain things happening? Men are leading, they're going out and saying, what is wrong with society? What can we do to fix it? So they have to deal with us separately. They have to hold one up at the expense of the other. Because we are weaker when we are divided. So yes, the boy child is left behind because there's no real place for them in society. And yes, we can tell them to adapt all we want, but it will still never cover for the fact that their core needs are not met. So yeah, that's my opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.
Now, looking at your point for matriarchy and feminism, right? Feminism was a movement that aimed at closing the gap between male and female, right? In terms of equity in the workplace, right? In terms of equity outside the workplace, equity in the educational system, right? That is the feminist movement. It's not power over men. Let's prioritize women. No. So, society, the internet, Twitter has misconstrued the feminist movement into toxic femininity. I know I use that term, but yes, society has misconstrued it into something else, something dangerous, where it's now pitting men against women. I believe maybe that is why you think like that, because Twitter, maybe you engage a bit too much into Twitter, where it's a thing where all you see is negativity on men's development and women's development. Oh no, toxic masculinity, you know, all of these buzzwords are being used, right? Would you not look at the actual facts of what happened to make a stronger argument, or to make any type of argument that is backed by factual proof? Because right now it is just baseless opinions, and anyone can do that. So why should the audience find value in what you say? Understand the point you're making, that tough times create strong men, and strong men create good times. I understand that point, but we are all looking for good times. Are we going to face tough times in search of those good times? Yes, we're going to face them, but that is up to us on whether we have to overcome those tough times or not, right? Whether we have to overcome those obstacles. No one is looking for a tough time. No one.
Saying that I don't fully blame these young people for wanting to go the social media route. It's because that's what is promoted now. Our role models are YouTubers. The people that young people are looking up to, they are streamers, they are on social media. It's no longer the doctor, the engineer, the lawyer. This is showing us how the bar is so low when it comes to our society, and when it comes to role models, people that influence our young people. We were taught that you need to bring value to society. Life is not just about you. If you want to be someone that is respected, that is noble, someone's life had to be changed just from listening to you. Someone's life had to be changed because you visited and you did something in that community. That's why even celebrities at that time, celebrities were not just people who were living a soft life for themselves, posting pictures. They were people that were giving back to the community. They were people that were showing us that life is more than just making money and being comfortable and living your best life. Life is about other people. It's about the betterment of the people around you, the betterment of your country and your world. But now we don't have that anymore. Now your role model is I Show Speed.
Say that they don't contribute to society, they're selfish, they're not looking to uplift the people around them. I beg to differ. You look at a content creator such as Mac G, right, who started with himself, a mic, and a friend, and a camera, and that has blown into a multi-million-dollar business, employing over 50 people currently, doing more, 50 young people especially, doing a lot more than some of these companies, than you, unfortunately. Because with these videos, I don't believe that you are aiming to build society, right? That might be your aim, but based on the videos that I'm seeing, that's not what I'm seeing, right? Because you are berating, you're you're listing all of the problems without giving possible solutions, right? And I'm not saying that no, you should think for men or give men the answers or whatever, but this is not the transformative content that you think it is, right? And I discovered your YouTube channel about, I believe, a month ago, right? And so far, I've enjoyed seeing some of the videos. Some of the videos I haven't really agreed with. I haven't agreed with at all, and most, but I enjoy your videos. I'm sure I'm still gonna continue to enjoy your videos because you make very engaging content. But your aim with these videos, I do not see. Seems a little blurred.
But I don't think that blowing up is that hard. I think blowing up is hard if you have morals, if you're trying to bring real value to society. It's not easy. If you're trying to toe the line, if you're not trying to risk, if you're not trying to say degenerate things, then it's going to be hard for you because you're not grabbing their attention the way that you should. I've said this before, a lot of these YouTubers are succeeding because they bring shock value. They're succeeding because they're willing to do whatever it takes. They're willing to say whatever it takes to grab attention. They're willing to do whatever it takes to be entertaining to young people. You need to study what grabs people's attention. You need to study what keeps people entertained. So if you think me and you are doing the same thing, that's fine, that's you. But I'm saying we are using the same platforms, but we're not doing the same thing. That's why we're not living the same lives.
You said that you are on the same platform as these YouTubers, but you guys are not doing the same thing. Your goals aren't the same. You're not having the same type of audience or whatever. But I would argue that I do see similarities because with this video and some other videos that I've seen you make, this is to a certain extent shock value content. I believe it is okay for everyone to live their own lives and choose the life that they want to live, right? Were your intentions pure with this video? We won't know. But from my side, that's all I have to say. As I said, I'm going to continue watching your content. Yo, keep up whatever you're doing. And if you make more controversial content for me to react to, then. But yeah, guys, please leave your thoughts down below. I'd really like to. I like reading the comments. I like to see what people are saying, if they're engaging within the content. And this is a very engaging topic. So leave a comment down below. Like the video. And yeah, guys, I will see you guys in the next video.